Welcome back. All right, so a quiet night of hockey tonight, but interesting results nonetheless, unless you're a Seattle fan. Seattle right now is flirting with bottom place on the power rankings. Absolutely. Arizona's looked good their last couple of games. We'll talk about Seattle in a bit here. So we're going to start things off with the Canucks at home against the Jets. So there's two ways you can take this. The Canucks get it together and they win tonight, so I take a chance to wear a Canuck jersey that we haven't seen me have an opportunity to wear for a while. And, of course, the Avs, they've won plenty recently. But, yeah, I mean, it's Comrie and net. They played their hearts out last night against the Edmonton Oilers. So you can make the argument of, well, they're tired Jets. But you can also make the argument of, hey, the Canucks still managed to come through in this one. So it's Comrie versus Demko. Garland had a chance to trickle wide early. Demko saves a Wheeler shot. The shots were 5-3 for the Canucks at 5 minutes. Ehlers in alone. He couldn't bury one. Mott had a chance. Dillon defends on that. Both goalies were busy in the first half. The hits were 9-3 for the Canucks at the halfway mark of the first period. It would not stay that way. Scrappy behind the Jets net. The Canucks ended up coming out of that with a power play. There was a shorthanded chance for Kopp. Good penalty kill. Pettersson had a chance, was saved, and then as the power play is winding down, Ekman-Larsson scores from Pettersson and Podkolzin. That's the first career assist for Podkolzin there at 13:51, so it's 1-0 Vancouver. Miller had a back pass that missed Hughes, went all the way back into his own zone. I thought that was noteworthy. But there's a late press by the Canucks. Lammikko runs into Comrie. That brings a crowd. He was helped into Comrie. Post then for Hughes with about 45 seconds left, but it's 1-0 Canucks after one. Second period. Horvat had an early chance that fizzled, and then Burrows. Kyle Burrows scores his first NHL goal, Vancouver native, first goal from Myers and Dickinson at 3 minutes and 12 seconds. It went in off Nate Schmidt. So, yeah, it's 2-0, but not for long. Nick Ehlers scores at 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So a minute later, Jets goal, just to make sure the fans aren't having too much fun with it. Canucks get a power play, and they score on it. Garland scores from Chason and Miller at 6:54. Remember, when I was doing the preview this morning, the penalty kill for the Jets has a miserably low number as well. So this is a team that has problems killing penalties. They did relatively well against the Oilers, all things considering, but still, this is a team with a poor penalty kill. The Canucks, they figured out how to get that penalty kill not to be a problem tonight. We'll talk about it. Jets would try to answer. Demko makes the saves. There was a stretch pass to Besser. That was a near miss. Morrissey had a shot that was stopped. There was a Canucks 2-on-1. Pearson, near miss for him. Hits now favored the Jets. It would stay that way the rest of the way, basically. It was close. Demko comes out to stop an Ehlers chance. Connor had a rush chance stopped, but it's 3-1 for Vancouver after 2 periods. Third period, Dillon wasn't on the Jets bench, but he was back on the Jets bench pretty quickly, so probably just an equipment issue. Back and forth chances early. Garland had a chance that was saved. Morrissey had a blast that was saved as well. Pearson had a tip chance that was kept out. Canucks get a power play. Horvat hits the outside of the net, and that's as close as they get. That last power play, no shots for the Canucks on that one. Horvat, had a good game, doesn't end up getting on the board. So that's killed off. Ehlers had a rush that followed that. Jets press with 8 minutes left, and they kept things interesting. Horvat had a rush chance. That ends up missing. Schmidt fires one wide as the Jets push. Kopp misses the net. The Canucks were pinned down, and eventually that catches up with you. So just after the Jets had pulled the goaltender, down by 2 goals, Dubois scores to continue his hot start to the season from Wheeler and Connor at 17:32. It is a 3-2 game, and the fans get a little tense. Harkins had a shot that tips wide. The goaltender gets pulled with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. The Canucks get it. They had some trouble clearing. Demko had one clearing opportunity that ends up going right to Dubois. There was icing with 56 seconds left by the Canucks. The Jets call a timeout. That kind of benefits the defending team too because, they iced it, they were tired, and then they get the 30-second timeout. Ehlers was denied in the final seconds, and then things get kind of scrummy/scrappy at the horn, but the Canucks hold on and they win 3-2. They go to 6-10-2 on the season. The Jets drop to 9-4-4. It's a rough couple of nights for the Jets, right? They had a great game against the Oilers. They come in. It's a letdown against Vancouver. The shots, well, we'll go through the 3 stars first. Demko, Burrows, and Ekman-Larsson. No argument with any of those 3. The shots were 16-12 Winnipeg in the first, 12-9 Winnipeg in the second, 11-8 Winnipeg in the third. Final shots 39-29 for Winnipeg. So you can make the argument Demko steals this one, and maybe if Hellebuck's in net, maybe it's a different result. But it's a back-to-back game, right? Power plays, Winnipeg never had one. So the Canucks figured out, hey, if we don't take a penalty, we don't have to worry about the penalty kill. I like that. Vancouver goes 2 for 3 on the power play. So tonight the special teams get the Canucks the win. Unusual. Hits 24-22 for Winnipeg. Demko saves 37 out of 39 at one end, and Comrie saves 26 out of 29 at the other. And so the Jets move on. And for the Canucks, we'll see if they can get a streak going. It's one game. I'm not celebrating. We'll see what happens. Next up, last up, Colorado and Seattle. So this was a tough one, and I will say this too. This was an ESPN Plus game. When the announcers don't seem overly interested in the game on the ice, and they're not really trying to hide it at a certain point, it can get tough to watch, right? So I'd be interested to know in the comment section if you watched this game and felt the same way. That they're not really talking about the game, and they just seem, I don't know if bored's the right word. Anyways, it was Kemper versus Drieger, and you might say, well, it's a shame they didn't put in Grubauer because that's an opportunity for him to play the Avs. He'll get that opportunity before the night's out. Girard had a stretch pass to Nichushkin. Lauzon then got a chance. Pretty wide open start to the game, both teams getting chances. Geekie couldn't bury one. The Avs end up getting a power play. So this is one of those times where Seattle takes a penalty at the other end of the rink. You can't be doing that. Burakovsky scores on the power play at 4:04 and then makes it 1-0. The shots are 5-1 for the Avs at 5 minutes. Kraken go to the power play. Donskoy couldn't bury one. Poor Jonas Donskoy. He's got to get out of Seattle. He just it's not working. He can't get a goal in Seattle. I don't know what to do. At this point, Donskoy, I think, needs to... If Colorado took him back, I think he'd start scoring right away. Dunn had a slap shot that was saved. And then during the power play, Nichushkin scores a shorthanded goal from Jost and Murray at 6:39. So turnover by the Kraken ends up in the back of their net there, and it's 2-0 in favor of the Avs. Wenberg had a chance that was saved. We then get a press by Seattle at the half. Schwartz ends up hitting the post on a break that he had. Avs 7+ minutes between shots. So it's the same story, right? Seattle's getting opportunities, some puck control, but the Avs are putting it in the net whenever they get the opportunity. Last minute chance for the Avs. It's 2-0 after one. Second period. Early Seattle press. Kemper saves. And then Rantanen scores from Makar and Kadri at 3:01. The Avs then get a power play. This is a power play goal here. Burakovsky, this was a power play marker. I just didn't mark his power play goal. It is a power play goal. From Makar and Kadri at 5:33. Blackwell then at a rush. Landeskog defends that. Doesn't let him get the shot on net. Solid puck pressure by the Avs. And eventually that gets them another goal. So every time Seattle had it, the amount of pressure they were under was pretty high. Makar scores from Helm at 12:48. Kadri then gets a couple of chances. And then Eric Johnson scores from Rantanen and Sherwood at 17:17. And that's a goal that Grubauer, who has now taken over for Drieger, really would have wished he hadn't given up. 2:05 left. The Avs get a power play. Newhook misses one wide. And Buchagos at this point keeps saying Drieger. Drieger's not in the net anymore. It's Grubauer. He kept saying Drieger. He was doing it in the third, too. Okay. And again, it's one of those things that when you're watching, you're thinking, wait a minute. Are they not paying as much attention to the game? And I understand. You know, this game at this point was a lot to nothing in favor of Colorado. But when he said Drieger, I thought, that's kind of odd. Third period, Eberle had a rush chance that was saved. Buchagros is enjoying catering. He was eating a chicken parm. He's talking about this chocolate puck they gave him and how much he loves Seattle for all this stuff he was getting. And I thought, okay. All right then. And of course, then they were talking about how Ferraro had a hot dog that he hadn't eaten, and it was weird. Newhook then had a wraparound that was saved, and he said, release this This made me laugh, and this is one of those things. You know that commercial they show every 5 seconds during every single hockey game across the entire National Hockey League? The one about the Seattle Kraken joining the league as if we didn't know because we saw that commercial 10 seconds ago, and we have no memory retention. So they showed that commercial again in, like, picture-in-picture. the whole release the Kraken at the end of it. And I want to punch everything about that commercial at this point because it's on every 10 seconds. I don't remember that with Vegas, but yeah, the whole release the Kraken, we get it. We get it. New commercial, please. And after the commercial, he said, release this chicken parm while he was holding up the chicken parm in front of the camera. I don't know why I found it so funny, but it was like, all right, sure, release this chicken parm. Got it. Obey Kubel would score his first. He celebrated by taking a penalty shortly thereafter. Jostin Newhook with the assists at 4:47. So the Kraken get the power play on the Obey Kubel penalty. And Seattle scores on it. Eberle from Johansson and Dunn at 5:57. And the Kraken go right back to the power play. Schwartz couldn't bury one. He is snake bit right now. But Tanev does. From Soucy and Larson at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And then the Kraken get another power play. Now, Donskoy was robbed during that because, of course, he was. 5-on-5, Blackwell scores his first goal, his first point as a Seattle Kraken from Donskoy at 15-12. So maybe that gets Donskoy back into it. So it's 7-3. Jared Bednar looks really impressed behind the bench at this point, but he just got his brand new 2-year extension, so he's probably pretty happy underneath all of that. They talked more about food and catering and chicken and anyways, it's one of those things. You know, I complain about that too with wrestling when the announcers aren't really calling what's going on in the ring. Well, why should the person watching care? So when they're talking about food while the action's going on, it's weird. Then there was a close call for Lauzon. The Avs get pinned down, but they do survive barely with a 4-goal win. They win this one 7-3. 3 stars are Makar, Blackwell, and Burakovsky. Shots 11-7 Colorado in the first, 14-6 Colorado in the second. In the third, Seattle did outshoot them 15-5 and definitely woke up, or the Avs let up because they were up by 7. Final shots 30-28 Colorado. Both teams went 2 for 4 on the power play. Hits were 19-11 for Seattle. Kemper saves 25 out of 28. He was a bit shaky in the third period, but again, all the Avs were. Drieger saves 9 out of 13. Grubauer saves 14 out of 17. Seattle has a goaltending problem, a defense problem. And apparently, the best thing about Seattle right now is the food in the building. So, I don't know. I haven't tried it yet. So, I'll make sure I get a chocolate puck when I go down there. They have chocolate pucks? Anyways. All right. Anyways, there you go. It was an entertaining and different night. And kind of fun that both games were late. So I had a whole day in before the hockey started. Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Now I know how people on the East Coast feel, except it goes till 1 in the morning. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of either of these games. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. From me, from the 3 cats in the room and the 5 bunny rabbits, thank you so much for joining me for Animal Planet THG Edition. I'll talk to you again soon.